Yeah, it's been an interesting weekend so far. A lot of little bits of volatility here and there, but nothing major from our side. Still watching and waiting and seeing what we're going to do tomorrow morning. Smiles, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm fine. What's up, Smokey and Story? So glad to be on this show.
Doing good, very well. Welcome everyone. I think it's going to be interesting time now because, as you can see in the title, is crypto going up or is crypto going down? It's very quiet in the news. I just had a discussion with the guys. It's a bit too quiet, and usually this tells me there's something coming. It might be up, it might be down, but there's definitely something coming in the horizon. So I think, Smokes, let's have a dive into the charts, have a look at what Bitcoin's doing right now, because from the news right now, and I think as the guys can see in the report, it is not, there's no news right now, and I think sentiment overall is social volume is down. People are waiting for something to happen. Regulation isn't going to be coming. There's nothing that I can spot happening in the news. So what are we waiting for?
So I think one thing that we need to be mindful of and that we need to consider is the markets are officially opening for the big guns tomorrow, the 17th, which is going to be really interesting. We've been trading and sort of testing and watching the market since December quite carefully over this period in the financial markets, not only the crypto market, because we need to understand that how this whole order flow of money works. So this is going to be really interesting. We said last week, the 10th will be a key date for us, in the financial markets to see if there's a bit more liveliness in the market, that the market's waking up. Now, we've had a successful couple of 2 weeks in the early part of Jan, trading some of the other financial markets, and it's been really good. But in the crypto space specifically, we have not quite seen the moves we wanted to see. Now, I'm not going to sort of recap too much of what we said on Friday night, but looking at the weekly, I'm still overall seeing this sort of bullish pattern that we can see here. And we can see that there's been a bit of a push since yesterday and today, sort of staying above the $43,000 level. So we are still seeing a bit of indecision with this doji candle that we see here. So we need to see what's going to happen. I'm just going to change my arrow here and scale down to the lower time frames. Now, we haven't seen a clear break above and a close on the daily above the 43,500 level. And I really do want to see that move play out. So we can just get our little zone here. I really do want to see this zone be broken and closed above this zone of 43,000 to 43,500. Being the 43,500 would be a key level for me to sort of get price above before we see a potential continuation to the upside. Now, the other way we can look at it from a market structure perspective, seeing that we do have a bit of a downtrend at the current point in time on the lower time frames, where the 4 hour, the daily and the weekly has sort of joined that sort of spot, and now we could potentially see a major move to the upside or see a further correction down. Now, should we break down on Bitcoin below the $40,000 level with a candle close on the daily, we can expect price to continue down lower. Now, what am I expecting in the next couple of hours? So what we can see currently, I think what we're going to see is a little bit of a push to the upside. Again, it all depends on what the next couple of hours is going to show us. Currently, we can see on price action, we can see that there is selling pressure in the market. Now, this could just be purely to get price down a little bit lower, grab some liquidity before move up. As we can see, that price is obviously looking at these wicks going further down at the current point in time. But it's nothing to be concerned about just yet, because we need to look at the $40,000 level as a key level for a breakdown. Now, you could argue and say that if we break below this sort of region, below this lowest point here, that if we have a candle close, we could continue down lower. But again, we need to look at these wicks here that's sort of forming this 40K level that could potentially, give us some support. So we are not out of the the woods yet for a bullish move. I still believe that we could see a spike up, but again, we could see a slight retracement down, get the last grab of liquidity before seeing a continuation to the upside. Now, for the next couple of hours, I'm expecting maybe a slight push to the upside, and then see a correction sort of into sort of 1:30 to 2 p.m. tomorrow morning, UTC +2 in the morning. So in the early hours of tomorrow morning, I'm expecting a correction further down, and then see what Monday brings. If we're going to have a continuation into sort of 9-10 o'clock or maybe even 11 o'clock region with a continuation, then we'll have to be very mindful of what happens in this region. But otherwise, we could see push up, push down into sort of early hours of tomorrow morning, and then see a potential continuation during the course of Monday, or maybe even Monday afternoon or early Tuesday morning for a continuation for this week. So that's what we want to see this week. Smiles, I don't know if you want to add anything there or what your thoughts is. I know you've been busy studying this weekend. What are you seeing? What are you thinking in the markets?
All right. Thanks, Smokey, for that. Well, actually, you're right. Well, if you could do a brief recap on what I said on Friday, I said it until I see a break above the 43,000 region, and which exactly happened, right? But the break we had from the 4 hours time frame. Yeah, the break we had from the 4 hours time frame is just more on like a week actually, and the week was formed with a kind of a bearish momentum. So I'm actually now I'm expecting a little bit push down. Yeah, a little bit pull down to the region of 42,661. Yeah, accurately from there. So from there, you can see is in line with the support, or not using some kind of critical technical word. I can say we can see a kind of support on that region. So possibly price has bounced on it, if not 2 times, and price coming back to it the 3rd time is not that bad. So once price has dropped down to that zone, you could see a slight push up to the region of 44,143, as you've said, because we have some unfulfilled orders in that candle week that we might possibly want to go and fill. So right now, what I'm expecting right now from Bitcoin is just to do a little bit drawdown, possibly short, maybe take out some early buyers before trying to go up to the region I've just mentioned. So right now, as a trader, you don't predict, you react to the market. Your bias can change anytime based on the market sentiment and what you're seeing, not what you assume. So right now, Smokey, as you said, I will have to wait for a couple of hours to see what will happen. And also, even if you go down to your 15-minute time frame, you can see we have okay, let's say, okay, yeah, from the 5-minute time frame, yeah, we can see something tangible. Yeah, from the 5-minute time frame, we can see a liquidity sweep. Yeah, we grab a lot of money that tap into the 4 hours order block, and we had a push to the upside. Now I think price is coming to that zone. Price is coming to that zone. So exactly on that zone, if on the 5-minute time frame, if the order block that broke structure fails to hold, then we might retest the 4 hours order block again. Then we might have another push up. So I'm looking from all angles of perspective to make sure that I am not predicting but reacting to what I'm saying. So that's what I have on Bitcoin.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, look, definitely being objective, or staying objective rather, is quite crucial in this market, because like you've said, we want to react and not predict the market. But it's crucial to understand the market structure currently. We can see a bit of bullish movement here, so we could potentially see a move higher, but again, price has to break above sort of, that 43,500 sort of range, as we can see there and mapped out. So definitely, let's give it a couple of hours and see what price is going to do. But like I said, I am expecting a bit of a move down before we see a potential move back up sort of in Monday. Also, what I would also want to point out, guys, is and I think we did touch on it earlier when we were discussing this, was Bitcoin and Ethereum EFTs is potentially going to be approved in India in the INX exchange, which could be big for Bitcoin and Ethereum to see, more sort of volume coming into the market from a trading perspective. So that's really interesting, something that we need to look at. So I'm not sure when that will be confirmed, but that is something to watch out for, because we could expect some nice movements in the market based off of that. So that is one thing that I would be looking at from tomorrow onwards. Not saying that it will be approved tomorrow. I need to see where and what's the release date on that, but that's not something we will know for sure. We'll only find out once it's been approved and the news is already out in the market. But that's going to be very interesting. So is there anything else, Tony, that you've got? I know I've got BNB that's also had quite a nice increase in sort of volume. Since last week we were on $431. It's now sitting and trading at $501. What this means for me,
the money's coming in. The money's
coming in. So, and we know that the big institutions are going to trade on the big exchanges because they get better rates. They get preferences over retail traders.
Look, like you said it yourself, the volume's there. These guys will not put their orders in. They are going to market order in. So they need to be on the exchanges where they have the capability of doing that. So the money's going to go where the money's going to flow.
Yeah, that's the other thing that we also spoke about, which was quite interesting, is the social, what was it? The social sentiment and everything, the news we said that was down, but we see that the actual market cap has increased and is now up to $2.17 trillion, which is quite amazing. But yet the news is massively down. The social engagement is down overall. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the back end that we can see. We can see altcoin dominance also.
I think people are waiting to kind of see, what's the big money going to do now. We've seen that, the news is reacting quite negatively regarding this inflation bubble, just printing money on demand. So I think people are really waiting to see what's going to happen this week. News has kind of been leading up to now. We can see countries opening up, so business is kind of going to go back to usual, but we're still sitting with this problem. But are we just going to do, like we've done the last 20 years and just, dust the problem under the rug and forget about it and go for a bull run? Or are we going to see this market retrace a bit, do a healthy correction before going where it needs to go? I think that's what we're waiting for. But what we're seeing is, like you said, money's coming in. Money is definitely coming into the crypto, and I think that's a good thing to see.
100%. Like we said, there is definitely potential coins, and one project that I want to just mention in tonight's meeting is Dusk. Now, Dusk, we got in at, where is this now? This is 5 minutes. Let me just go to 4 hours. So we got in here at 6.7. Let me just map it out here. That's a different color. But we got in here at 6.7. Was it 7.6, I believe. We got in at this part. Now we've already exited this position. We got out. Now I must remember. We got out here at. I actually got out here at 76. Was where I got out. Just doing a little bit of a day trade, and I wasn't sure where the market was going. But if we look at this potential setup, right, on Dusk, and looking at the gains from that price point, we can actually see that this was a massive mover this week, with like 53%. So there is these projects coming around and playing out that you guys need to be watching and looking for and scouting. And this is just one of the projects that we've been trading this week, which has been quite interesting. So have a look at it. There's no news, funny enough, on this project, but yet, the security, I think it's a security network, but yet this project has been moving quite consistently and quite nice. So that was quite interesting this week that I wanted to point out.
I think the good thing is, like we can see, I think BNB was a very good indicator that we spoke about the show, that money is coming in to the exchange. It's definitely being used to not being put into Ethereum or Bitcoin necessarily, because the market is going sideways. It's still indecision. But we have seen a lot of projects taking runs. So we can see money coming into the projects that people actually believe in, and people aren't necessarily going to buy these big coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. So I think, again, I'm saying people are waiting for the institutions to start taking more of the fiat currency, putting it into the crypto space, so that it can actually grow. And I think that we're going to see more of that happening this year, but we are still waiting for that correction that needs to happen to Bitcoin and to the crypto market. So it's either a case of they're going to delay it again, or it's going to happen this year.
No, for sure. I think we'll have to wait and see in the next couple of hours. Like I've said, I do believe that it's going to have a retracement into the early hours of tomorrow morning before we see some form of correction, but that gives us nice buying opportunities, hopefully by tomorrow morning or sort of late morning. So we need to sit and see where the opportunities is, but keeping in mind it all depends on what Bitcoin is going to do. Bitcoin's going to determine whether or not we should be obviously, being trading the market, or if we should be waiting for, the next leg up to play out. Or if the next leg down is breaking below the 40, then we need to consider to potentially maybe get out and then look at lower buying opportunities, sort of in the 28K to the 24.5K region if it breaks below the $40,000 levels, and it could go as low as 20,831. But that's only if we see a break below the 40,000. Until we see a daily candle close below the $40,000, I'm not interested in selling. I am personally looking for buying opportunities for a potential move to the upside, and that's it from me. Smiles, what do you say?
Well, as I've said already, stick with what I've said already. So I think I need to wait for a couple of hours to see what price will do, what Bitcoin will do before I could say another thing. And if I should notice any kind of change, then I have to go with it, because I have to move with it. I don't have to predict or stick to what I believe. I need to react to what exactly I'm saying.
Look, if we also take into consideration the time of the year it is now, guys, people have probably taken their cash, whether it is that they're retiring, settling down, or wanted to have the best holiday of their life this year because of, all the pandemic and everything that's kind of happened. So with institutions coming back, with people going back to work, people are going to be looking for investment opportunities for the new year. They're going to be putting the investments, where they're going to get the best returns for this year. I think people have been shown now that you don't need to just invest in gold or in fiat, that there's crypto opportunities. So I think a lot of more people are going to make more crypto decisions this year than they are going to make, Forex or fiat decisions. So I'm expecting with the run of these next 2 months that we're either going to be going up with institutions bringing in money, or institutions going to be pushing down the market because they want to get the best entry possible before we go to the next level in the crypto space. We're not going to, to the extent of how much trillions can come into the crypto space, it's going to be much more than the $100,000 mark. We are very low right now in the Bitcoin level, I think. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think this is if we're going to look in the next 5 years, this is a very, very, very small move and small things that we're still seeing in the Bitcoin space right now.
For sure. Just something I want to point out for you guys to have a look at this week. OMG might be ready for a potential nice run up to the upside, but wait for a slightly lower entry before you take anything in consideration. Make sure it lines up with your strategy, and make sure that it fits your trading style and objectives. Don't just simply get into it, but if you're interested in a potential opportunity, look at OMG this week. We might see a nice little run on OMG this week. So I'm just putting it out there. So you guys can have a look and let's see how it plays out. I'm going to personally look at it next week. But that's it from me, guys. I think we can switch off. Let's get ready for tomorrow morning and see where the opportunities that we can start placing some trades and playing some coins, and then see how we can accumulate and trade this nice market opportunities that we see in the market. Thanks, Smiley. Thanks, Tony. Have a great evening. Guys, if you liked our content, please like and subscribe. Don't forget. Also, keep an eye out for the university that we are launching soon. It's going to be really interesting. It's going to be well executed with assignments and various course content for you guys to watch and learn and see how we trade and how we do it on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. We've had great success this past week with roughly 8% every 2 days. So we are not saying that we are going to do 8% every 2 days, but it's definitely the possibilities if the market conditions is met to have nice, consistent gains. So watch out for that. Hope you guys have a good evening and good night.